Okay, folks, remember, no photography other than still photography. You can do still, but you can't do video. Turn off your phones, and we'll start with overview from Coach Johnson.
First off, I want to congratulate Coach Gilmore and Coach Schnall and their staff at Coastal. Amazing season, and they're a deserving champion. We played as good a schedule as we possibly could this year, and they're the best team that we've played, in my opinion. So hats off to them. Extremely sad right now. Obviously, the result, this is a national championship caliber group that we had. They proved it for 73 games. And I'm very disappointed that I don't get to coach them anymore. And, you know, it's very difficult. We're a very tight group. We'll get through it together. Stings pretty bad right now.
Okay, we'll start off with questions for the student athletes. Please raise your hand, and we've got Emily and Jill to get a mic to you. And again, identify yourself and to whom you're asking the question. Start with Mike.
Mike Lana, Baseball America. Bobby, before you came off the mound there, you were patting Cody on the back. What were you saying to him in that moment, and just how important has he been for you guys in this College World Series and in the postseason?
I mean, all year's probably been the most important player for us. I was just, trying to be there for him. We've all made errors before, and it stings, and, that one stung a lot, but, just trying to pick him up.
Aaron.
Aaron Fitt with UN Baseball. Cody, when you look back at this run, when the dust settles, what do you think will stick out most in your mind?
How this group fought. It showed in the ninth inning that we weren't going down easy, and they picked me up for a mistake that I made, and I was hoping we were going to pull through.
Okay, let's go back with Lee first. Thanks, Jill.
Hi, this is for Bobby. Lee Barfnick from the Omaha World Herald. You really mowed him down through 5 innings. Did anything change physically in the 6th inning, or anything happen?
I don't know. I thought I made some pitches that were pretty questionable. Obviously, it's not the umpire's fault or anything, but it was a tough inning. Those kind of happen. Middle innings will win and lose ball games, and they lost us one today.
Okay, Mike.
Jared, I mean, just how important have the guys to your right and left been in this run, in this College World Series?
Can't put it into words. Bobby on the mound at third base. I mean, it's unbelievable. And this kid right here, it's been our spark plug the whole season, leading the postseason and the World Series run. Like I said, can't put it into words. We're going to miss these guys.
Next question. I think that'll be it, guys. Congratulations. It's a season-long accomplishment for you guys, so remember that. If you're excused, you can take your nameplates too. Thanks, guys. Now questions for Coach Johnson, please. Jim.
Jim Callis from MLB.com. Jay, on the ball that Aguilar hit in the 9th inning, it just seemed like the left fielder got to the ball so quickly and got rid of the ball very quickly. It didn't seem like there was much of a chance to send Cody on that. Was it in your mind when the ball was first hit that you might be sending him? Or just how'd that play unfold for you?
That's the play of the season in college baseball. I can't believe it. And I told him that when we were walking through the line, and I congratulated him. We play aggressively, and, I mean, it's live by the sword and die by the sword, and with 2 outs, we're sending guys. And the shortstop had the ball when Cody, who's a great runner, was at third base. He would have been out by 100 feet, and it's only 90 feet. I know that. I can't believe the play was made. We won a game at home earlier, 2 games at home earlier this year on the same ball. You got to tip your hat to Anthony. I can't believe he made the play and got there as quickly as he did.
Next question, Aaron.
Coach, obviously you've talked about it repeatedly how much Cody Raymer has meant to this team, and I know you hate it for him that he made that mistake, but what did you tell him afterwards?
I haven't got a chance to express how I feel about these guys yet, which I will, but it starts right there with him for me. I mean, if I ever have a son and he's half of what he is as a person, a player and a competitor, I'd be extremely proud. I wish I could coach him every year of my life. Somebody told me a story like he was almost redshirted a year or two ago or something like that, and made it worse. I love him with everything I have. He was the best player in the Pac-12 this year. Nobody meant more to their team, and I think the Angels drafted him. There's a sneak big leaguer in there, and I can't wait to watch him.
Mike?
Coach Mike Patterson, Omaha World Herald. Talk about how the injury to Salazar kind of impacted the rest of the game.
Well, I mean, I moved him up to the 4-hole today for a reason. He kills submarine and sidearm pitchers. Won us a game at San Diego State. Had a huge hit in a big rally against UCLA. Huge hit at Hawaii against a sidearmer, which is why I moved him up to the 4-hole. And we're only down 4-2, and we got runners on first and second. In the 7th inning, I believe, he's up. And then you got second and third in the 9th inning, and he would have been up. So it had a huge impact on the game.
Lee?
Lee Barfnick from the World Herald. Cody got thrown out at home or was ruled out at home in the 3rd inning. Can you discuss how getting the first run on the board might have impacted the game?
That would have been huge. I mean, you guys have watched the whole series. I think with the exception of us the other night scoring in the first, it seemed like the team that scored first won. That is him right there. I mean, he read it perfectly. It's what we call a gray area. It has to be past the pitcher except what we call a swinging bunt. And Beckwith can really do that with his sink. And Zach hit it into the ground, and he was gone right away. And he told me he was safe. I mean, I'm guessing if Joe is umpiring the home plate in the national championship game, he's the best umpire in the country. I hope that's what the criteria is. And he said he tagged him. I haven't seen it yet, and it definitely, I think it could have had a huge impact, but you got to tip your hat to Coastal because we win what's called the free base war a lot, and they won it today, and that's why they won the game.
Okay, back here in the back. Emily, back. Get it to Eric.
Eric Sorensen from D1 Baseball. Coach, just takes through the last at bat. Did you have Ryan, was he swinging away? Did you have him swinging, or did you have him sitting on a couple of pitches?
We had him swinging. He was the winning run at that point, right? Going back to the inning, and yeah, I had a vision of him taking a great at bat. I thought it was going to go the other way, and he was going to rattle one down in the corner and give Cody a chance to score. That's a special story with him. I mean, as a guy that I was told should be eliminated from the program, and not only did he come back and gave his scholarship back. I mean, there you go. I mean, from a character standpoint, his family, and if Cody was the best player in the Pac-12 this year, Ryan was in the top 5, and it's all you can ask for right there. Those 3 seniors. Taking those at bats, they gave us the chance to win the game, and I would definitely wanted him to get a swing right there because he might have hit a home run. I had a great feeling he was going to square it up, and he did. And I'm going to probably have nightmares about that little rat in left field running around and making that play. I say that if you know me, that is a big-time term of endearment.
Okay, Lee.
Jay, the big picture, before the season, you basically had people telling you your team was going to stink. I mean, have you drunk this in as deeply as you can and can you kind of put a capper on just being able to come to Omaha and then, take that championship game down to the very last pitch?
Well, to put it in perspective, I mean, this is the best 5 weeks of my life. And I don't want to say goodbye to these guys because, I mean, it's what you saw was great baseball really for the whole year. I mean, we won more games than any team at the University of Arizona in the last 30 years. You have to go back to the 1986 national championship team to find a team that won more games. And it's very gratifying based on where we started. And I'm so proud of them. And I couldn't be more pleased at the foundation that was set. And you guys think I'm talking about winning and Omaha runs and all that. It had nothing to do with it. I'm talking character, work ethic, improvement on a daily basis, heart, courage, competitiveness. It just goes on and on. I'm very proud of these guys.
Okay, this will be the last question, Mike.
Jay, just what did you make of Bobby's outing today and really just his entire postseason and, his future in the professional game?
Well, as far as his outing, he was competing his tail off. Sometimes you run into a problem when guys strike a lot of guys out. The pitch count gets up. He was on 4 days rest. And I thought they did enough to make it tough. I don't think we gave him the runs. He made one bad pitch, the home run. But it was Jake Arrieta for us in the postseason. And if the Boston Red Sox don't want to pay him what he's worth, I'd be happy to have him back. And I'm sure somebody in the organization was watching the College World Series and this first-round talent that might have went in the 4th round.
Jay, congratulations.
Thank you.
Championship season.
Thank you.
Thank you, buddy. Good luck to you all. Season 50 weeks. I think it's just gonna, Young's not coming. Confirm once again, just coming in, Beckley. Okay, we're ready for him. He should be pretty close. Said Gary is hugging every fan that's left in the stadium, so maybe a moment. Just let me know, we're ready for him. They're searching for Gary now. Oh, he'll be here.
No, I mean, we're just giving 2 players.
Yeah, Young is not coming for some reason. I don't know why.
We can't get marks.
We've had enough marks, haven't we? I know what you mean.
Play the season.
I know.
I mean, it's not your fault.
Oh, I know. They just.
Get guys on the field, which is fine.
Yeah.
But like, I would have thought 100% Marks was going to be here in the interview. We got more Arizona players than we do Coastal guys.
Hey, is there any way we can get marks down here?
And I know it's not your fault.
It'll have to be in the locker room, Jim. Okay.
Just wait for PG Johnson to put it on.
Jim, I'm sorry. I think you have to get him in the locker room.
That's fine. I know it's not your fault. It's just
Yeah.
guy hits a home run, we don't get him.
I thought, yeah.
We get like 4 or 5 of them, like all.
Yeah, we're finished with Arizona. If we get marked. If you can get him.
Yeah. Thanks, Bill. Play of the year in college baseball right here. Get marks down here. That's all you, Bill. You get play of the year.
We're trying, but he'll be on the end if we get him. He'll be on the end if we get him.
Thanks, Bill.
So.
big Rice fan because of that. They were out here a bunch, though. Yeah, they were out here a bunch. Something like that. I still can't believe you guys didn't make it back next year. Like out of that regional, that was unbelievable. Texas sucks. That might have been the biggest upset I said all year. Right. Yeah, after you guys battled back. No, he was beat up the year before too, wasn't he? The year you guys won? I think he was tumbled over the stupid. Yeah. Britman, right? They call him Britman. I remember Britman. All right, then. Who won it actually? I don't remember. Who did? Oh, even though. Yeah. Yeah. So did they win the first game? You guys won the last two, or did you guys win, lose, win? How did it go? We won the first game in extras, right? Cody had quick threw the ball away. Was it 14-2? I gotta say, I don't remember much about the final game. I guess it's live. That's fine. We'll take winning national. The year they when my alma mater won, it was all guys I'd gone to school with in 1990. It was a 2-1 game. And that thing, it was like a bang bang play in the last 4 innings. So I think I might have enjoyed 14-2 a little bit more. When you're taking houses together. What? If I go half. You going over? Half's my single number. No. There we are.
Okay, folks, please turn off, for the last time, turn off your phones and all that other stuff I've been saying. Gary, congratulations. Give us an overview. What happened out there?
I'm at a loss for words. I hadn't planned on this one, you know, so didn't know what to say. But there were moments along the way, all season long, especially down the stretch through all these different tournaments and stuff. And you know, I've said it several times. I felt all along that there's been a hand on my shoulder, and I don't know. I think if you go back and look from about the 7th inning on, I don't know that I unfolded my hands the whole time that we were playing, because
Sorry about that, Coach.
My only regret in this is that my father's not here to give me the biggest hug that I'd give anything in my entire life for that hug, because I wouldn't be here without him. The things he taught me, baseball-wise and everything else. And, before I talk about the game, I just got to say, Dad, I love you, and I sure miss you. And if there is a thing up in heaven of you looking down on me, I know there's the biggest smile that's ever been on your face, that you kept telling me we could win a national championship at Coastal Carolina, even when I doubted it myself. And I thank you for that so much. And, for me, Lord, the biggest thing that I want to say is thank you for the opportunity to coach this group of young men. That's one of the greatest blessings. Whenever I die, I'll know that, that this group of guys here, they willed themselves to be national champions. They truly did. They're passionate and will.
Couldn't have did it without you, 1-4.
And, it was just meant to be. There's no doubt. If there's such a thing as a team of destiny or whatever, this group is it. And, lastly, I want to say, University of Arizona, we I don't know if we've ever played them. I don't think I've ever coached against Jay before outside of when he was at San Diego and stuff. But, I tell you what, they're a class team, unbelievably talented and so well coached. And, I just, my hat's off to him. He came in a tough situation into that place and got that team here, and they're so talented. And, some of the classiest young men we've ever competed against. And I want to wish them well. They've got a team that's got a chance to come back here again next year. And, so there's 2 or 3 other teams we played that were here. So, I'm just, thank the good Lord, we got our one shot, and these young men found a way to get it done.
Okay, if Anthony will let me, we'll open it up to questions from the student athletes, and we'll start with you, Jim.
Jim Callis from MLB.com for Anthony. Anthony, the throw you made in the 9th inning, or getting to the ball quickly, the whole play, Jay Johnson called it the play of the year in college baseball. Can you just describe what was going through? Were you playing him not to pull? Because it seemed like you got on the ball real quick and unloaded it real quick, and it wasn't even a decision. That Jay Johnson said they'd send the guy almost every time, and he didn't even have a decision to make because they had no shot to score.
We were just playing no doubles. Wasn't really shaded down the line or anything, more towards the gap, because the gap can kind of kill you because it's a really big ballpark. But we do that stuff every day. We've been doing the double cuts. We do it every day and in and out. We practice it. We beat it in our heads, and we actually had one against Texas Tech where I threw it in and threw it to Mike, and it was just a hair high. And, I mean, that was the difference between safe and out, and I knew that hopefully I'd get another opportunity to do it, and just came in a little bit bigger spot. But, I mean, there's really nothing going through my head, just to get the ball in, give it to Mike, and then it's out of my control from there. And I just wanted to do my job for sure.
Hey, Aaron.
Aaron Fitt, D1 Baseball. Alex, just to piggyback on that question, what was your reaction, on that play? When off the bat, did you think, oh, man, it's a tie ball game?
Honestly, I didn't even look at the ball. I thought it was telling foul, but someone was telling me the wind was kind of pushing it back in. Honestly, I was just in disbelief. But I had all the confidence in the world that we were going to pull that one out. There was never a doubt in my mind. Granted, I definitely didn't throw the best. Don't get me wrong, I did not throw well at all, but did well enough, and luckily our offense came today, and we got it done.
Okay, Aaron again.
Alex, did it hit you at some point out there? I mean, it's the national championship game. It's a one-run game. Second and third, a single loses the game. I mean, what was that moment like for you?
Well, it's kind of a running joke. None of y'all probably know this. In high school, I lost the state championship 3 times in a row. So.
Oh, you tell me now.
Oh, I'm telling you right now, and I was not going to lose this one. I promise you that. Coach Thomas came out there and had a meeting and said, intent is going to win you this game, this pitch, this bat or whatever. But yeah, that's all it was, just intent and just going out there and competing like I know how to. Like I said, I didn't have my best stuff, wasn't throwing a lot of strikes, but I just competed as best as I know how.
Way in the back here. blinding me.
Greg Eklund for AP Broadcast. This is for Andrew. That trophy sitting next to you, first national championship trophy of any kind for your program. What does that trophy signify to you?
Just the hard work we put in, the hard work the alumni have put in to get us to have these great facilities, and this coaching staff is just unbelievable. And you know, this senior class pushed everyone from the start when they got back in the fall, and just one goal was to get to Omaha and win it all. And we got to Omaha and we won it all.
Yeah, we won it all. Say it again.
We won a national championship.
Greg, that's the most outstanding player trophy. The national championship trophy is a little bit bigger.
No, this is a
They
replica.
didn't bring a big trophy in here.
No, no,
His
no,
trophy,
no.
his trophy might be bigger than the national championship trophy. To be quite
that
honest with
MVP
you. But it's
trophy
well
is
deserved,
not
though. Well
easy.
deserved.
Replicas are bigger. Okay.
Well deserved.
Next
At
question.
least I'm gonna to be in
Jim.
our house. I went with him.
Anthony, you were talking about this a little bit last night, but can you just talk about, I mean, you show up at Coastal Carolina as a walk-on, and you're hoping to make the team. Here you are 4 years later. Didn't get drafted. I mean, this could be the last baseball game you play, you know, serious competition, and you're national champion. Can you just talk about
Yeah,
how that
I mean,
feels?
this is unbelievable. I never doubted myself. I really believed in my heart that I could compete at one of the highest levels, and I mean that's really why I took the chance to come to Coastal Carolina. And thankfully, Coach Gilmore believed and saw the same thing that I did, that I could compete at this level. And I know we butted heads a couple of times, and it wasn't easy at first, but I mean he just stuck with me, kept having confidence in me, and I owe everything to that man down there, Coach Gilmore. Did so much, and I mean to be here and really I never really thought I wasn't since the draft started. I didn't even think about not playing baseball again because we got here, we had 2 big super regional games, and like Coach Thomas said before, like don't even think about that because at this point in time, this is the biggest moment in our lives. So don't miss it. Don't miss out on the biggest moment in your life, and just I mean if that was my last time putting on a uniform with spikes and. I'm going out on top for sure.
Okay, Mike.
Mike Patterson, Omaha World Herald. This is for any of the players. Let's talk about that 4-run inning and how important that was to be able to play with the lead like that.
Anthony, we'll start with you.
That was a very big inning for us because yet again another starter for Arizona. Dahlbeck just had nasty stuff, and he really was controlling our offense until that point. He was shutting us down, commanding the baseball. I mean, really, really sharp slider. And someone down there, for that whole inning started with David Parrott. Yet again, David Parrott coming up big for us. Couple big takes, gets himself a walk. And like our offense has done all year, we look for one person to spark us up and give us that one really good quality at bat to get everybody else going. And I think you saw that. And I mean, granted, we took full advantage of one mistake that they made, which I don't think they made too many mistakes. That's a great ball team over there, and we made the most of our opportunity. And I was telling someone out there, I knew it was time. That ballpark wasn't holding GK this whole tournament. No way was it. I mean, he's really big to our offense for sure.
Andrew.
Yeah, you know, I'm sitting in the back of the dugout watching it, and this offense just capitalizes on other teams' mistakes, and they make that error up the middle, and GK just punishes that ball. I mean, there's no other word for it, and it's a long inning for me, and I got to go back out there. But you know, it's the offense has carried us a lot of the way this whole season, and they came up big today.
Alex.
They answered everything. I was just grateful to come in with the lead, and luckily I didn't blow it.
Emily, you got somebody? Oh. This will be the last question for the players.
For really all of you guys or any of you guys, Coach has talked about maybe how his coaching style has changed over the years, and he looks at where he is now and says, who's this guy coaching this team? But I'm curious, what is it about him, about his temperament, that helps put you guys in the position to do something like this?
I'll take this one first. Yeah, I'll take it.
Still got to get home.
My man Gilly is a dog. He's He's one of the greatest men I've ever got the pleasure to know. He goes to war for you. He'll battle with you. He'll bleed with you. He'll fight with you. And I appreciate that and I respect that because I'm honestly kind of the same way. You know, our motto all year has been selfless and relentless, or for the past 2 years, selfless and relentless. You know, it's on the carpet in our locker room, and Coach Gilmore, he's literally the epitome of that. He embodies it in everything he does, and I love him, man. I love Coach Gilmore with all my heart. I really do.
Mm-hmm.
He's the best.
He is.
Andrew, you're next. That was Alex.
Yeah. You know, we just he's our guy. Gilmore's our guy, and we wouldn't want it any other way. And he picked the right coaches this year. Hopefully, we'll have all of them back. I know these two guys probably won't be back, but we're trying to make another run. But yeah, you know, Coach Gilmore just brings it every day, and we just try and back him up as juniors and seniors, and the freshmen and sophomore really do pay attention to that, and they understand.
Anthony?
I mean, he's just one of the biggest competitors I've ever met, and coaching a group of guys, because I know that locker room, those are some of the most competitive players I've ever played with, and to get a mixture of that kind of coach with these kind of players, it's really special. And I mean, it makes it fun. We go to practice. I said, he's out there trying to strike us out during BP, and we get a little battles. I mean, he loves what he does, and it makes it fun for us to play the game of baseball.
Absolutely.
I mean,
Absolutely.
like I said, he is the epitome of Coastal Carolina, and I think the best compliment we could give him is that ever since I've been at Coastal, and there's not too many people this happens for, but when Coach Gilmore walks into a room, all silence. That he gets everyone's full attention. That's respect that you earn. That's not given. That is respect that you earn, and he has earned himself that. And to be able to play for Coach Gilmore is probably one of the best things that ever happened in my life. I love you to death, Coach.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Feelings mutual, gentlemen, and I'll make sure you get extra meal money for all.
Guys, you
go.
can take your nameplates now. You can. And congratulations.
Love you guys too. Oh, you're very welcome, man. Thank you for what you did for us, my man.
We gotta get you a bigger trophy.
Try to take it to the knee.
No, that wasn't me.
That's it. Okay, questions for Coach Gilmore. Start up here with Jim, then we'll go back to you, Greg.
Jim Callis from MLB.com. Coach, I'll go back to that the double in the ninth inning again. What's going through your mind when you see that ball get down in the corner? I mean, it seemed unbelievable for those just watching how quickly Marks got on that ball and got it back in to basically not even make it a thought to send the runner home.
Yeah, no, I mean, I told Drew that when he made that play. I says, you know, I said, damn, that was a heck of a play. That was a hell of a play, you know. And I mean, actually, our ballpark in the corner is very similar. It's real tight, so he's had an opportunity to dig balls out of the corner all year long. And you know, the one thing that we preach and preach and preach, and you know, it doesn't always work out perfect, is if you feel, you know, I'm a big believer that runners stop if you field the ball correctly and unload the baseball. And you know, he fielded it clean, wheeled and turned, and threw an accurate throw. And you know, I mean, that for me, that was the play of the game. There's no doubt. The home run, all that stuff was great. But I mean, that was an intense moment that any margin of error he has at all, that runner scores. And you know, it's a tie game, and you know, probably, you know, we wouldn't be sitting here right now. So, you know, I thought Anthony Marks' play in this entire tournament probably was one of the difference makers in our team, to be honest with you. I mean, he, at least offensively for me, he was our MVP from game one all the way through. I mean, he played unbelievable. And you know, I know you guys, you know, Baseball America, D1 Baseball, MLB.com. I would love some of y'all to help me out, because that young man doesn't deserve to stop playing. That kid's passion and ability, that kid can play professional baseball. And you know, I've been screaming at scouts and stuff, you know, the last 3 or 4 days that, you know, this is ridiculous that this kid didn't get picked up by somebody. And I hope y'all can help me. Put a little pressure on him. He needs to play.
Here in the back, Greg.
Coach Greg Eklund, AP Broadcast. Division I baseball might be one of the last few sports where a team from a non-power conference can and will win a national championship. In that regard, do you feel that your program is carrying the banner for the non-powers?
You know, I think a lot of people, you know, all my brothers in arms at the mid-majors, they've been wearing my telephone out, you know, the whole week and stuff. You know, wear the banner for us, show us it can be done. And, you know, me personally, you know, I don't feel like we've been a mid-major baseball program for a while. I mean, I surely don't tell that to my kids. You know, I tell them I think we're, you know, top 4 or 5 ACC caliber club, you know, that we can play with the SEC at times, that, you know, we don't shy away from anyone. You know, we're mid-major because, you know, we're a 10,000 population school, and, you know, we had 1 AA football, and that, you know, that you kind of get stigmatized by that. But I don't think our play has been mid-major as far as that part. But, you know, hopefully now that, you know, I think, you know, that sleeping giant people told me about 21 years ago has finally awakened.
Okay, Jim, and then
Jim Callis from MLB.com. Gary, you were talking about this a little bit the other day, but you know, when you took over the job, you know, you obviously had a lot of obstacles to overcome to get the program to where it is today. If somebody had told you you guys would be competing for a national championship, winning a national championship, would you have believed it at that point?
Be very honest with you, I thought we had one of the best teams in the country in 2010.
I know when you took over.
Oh, when I took over the program, yeah, I mean, you know, I was a young guy full of dreams and passion and this and that, whatever. Thought I could coach my way to a national championship or whatever. So I tried to sell that mess and found out very quickly we needed really good players as well as coaching a whole lot. So, you know, it was one of those things where just coming every day and having passion. You know, I don't play golf. I don't have any hobbies. I mean, probably riding bikes just to get away from the rest of the world is about the only thing my wife and I truly enjoy doing, you know, outside of spending time with our kids. So, I mean, you know, my job is my hobby as well as my job. And I love baseball. I love watching it. I love coaching it. I love the relationships that you have while you're doing it. And, you know, there's no place on earth I would rather be than on a baseball field, throwing BP, hitting fungos, doing whatever. There's not a better day on the face of the earth than when I can go to the ballpark. So, you know, I just use that attitude to sell to kids, and, you know, it's amazing. I mean, you know, the number one thing, that national championship means the world to me. But I'll be very honest with you. The most impressive thing for me throughout this whole thing is we've had well over 100 players that played for me at Coastal. I've got 25, 30 that played for me at USC Aiken, have spent their money, and it's not cheap to come out here. You know, spend their money to come be a part of this, just to be a part of it. And some have flown home because they had to go back to work and come back. And I mean, it's, you know, that for me is the most satisfying part of this whole entire journey, is seeing all those faces, and they're as proud for us as if they were playing and doing it themselves. And you know, that I will never forget. And it, honestly, as much as I love this national championship, that part I cherish more than anything.
right here in the middle.
Jason Patterson, I own the College World Series. Coach, was there a specific moment, maybe here in Omaha, maybe along the way this season, where you really came to the realization, and maybe even a different moment that this team came to the realization, for you and the team, was there a moment where you said, we can win the national title this season?
Well, when we wiggled out of that mess at LSU in the 9th inning and then turned around and Mark's got a walk and stolen base, and Paez hits that ball down the line, and you go, we're going to Omaha. And you look up and go, okay, we've got Florida and that pitching staff, and you're going, oh my gracious, you know, going in for fire into another. You know, I think when we won that game against Florida, even though we didn't play well on Tuesday defensively, I think they knew that we were still okay. You know, they never faltered, and you know, I mean, you look at who we had to beat to do this is an incredible feat. I don't care what team you are. I mean, to go through LSU and then come here, Florida, TCU, Texas Tech, TCU twice, and these guys 3 times. You know, it's an incredible journey for any program. For what, you know, this for me has to go down as one of the better competitive teams of coming through the hard knocks of the toughest bracket and the whole 9 yards. I don't know that there was just like one moment in our whole journey that kind of turned it around. And then to be honest, I'll take that back. I think the Saturday when we were or it may have been Friday, I can't remember, Mike, when the draft was, when we were all, I'll never forget, you know, we had those 4 or 5 guys go all in that one day. And then we went out and beat LSU that night. Yeah, and, you know, Owens was the last guy, and we're in the hotel. And, you know, I don't know if y'all know this about Connor Owens. He has one kidney that doesn't function and the other only 30%. He's going to have a kidney transplant from his mother at some point in time in his life. I mean, it's inevitable. And so he's been going through that his entire life. He's got a brother in the big leagues. It's a very good player. And when he got drafted in the 34th round, you would have thought the roof of that hotel was going to blow off. It was the most incredible moment for his teammates. I mean, they were all crying the whole night, they were screaming, and we went out and played like champions. It was like the weight of the world had been taken off the entire group to have all those guys. Anthony was the only guy that didn't go, and you know, he had a okay year for us. He's played here in the College World Series like he played every day last year. Last year, he was one of the best players in the country, and I thought he was going to get drafted last year. You know, too many people look at his size and this and that, and that kid means so much to this team and his teammates. But I think that if there was a moment in time that was the most significant for this group of people, it was that day. Because, I mean, you're a senior, that's, you know, you start seeing all those names called, and you know, it's the 25th round, then the 30th, and then it's starting to go on, and Connor was the only one that hadn't been taken, and you know, it just, you know, everyone knows his health stuff, so you know, I mean, his ability was way more than a 34th rounder, but I honestly think our team completely relaxed from that point in time. It was like, okay, life isn't over if we lose, so let's just go out and play and win, and it seemed they turned it up a notch.
Mike?
Coach Mike Patterson, Omaha World Herald. We were down here, so we didn't see it, but did your guys take the trophy up into the crowd and just talk about the support you got from your fans here in Omaha throughout the series?
Well, it's absolutely incredible to you know, to see how many of our fans came, and the other great part is how many fans we won over. You know, I mean, in all honesty, you know, my wife would come back from Fan Fest and go, I can't even find you a T-shirt that's teal or whatever, that's all gone. They're saying everything's gone. They reordered and it's wiped out. So, you know, it's been really neat. But, you know, our people that spent money and time to come out here to be with us, to support us, it's unbelievable. And I know from the ESPN guys, they were telling me that absolute mayhem in Myrtle Beach and Conway. So, I mean, it's just, you know, it's the most incredible day of my life. There, absolutely no doubt about it.
Eric?
Congratulations, Coach. Eric Sorensen for D1 Baseball. Two-pronged question, actually. First off, going into the season, did you think that this would be your best team at the end? And the second part, what actor would play your role in the movie of your life?
I'll tell you who my wife wants to play. Honestly, we went into the season, I honestly thought we had an outstanding starting pitching staff. And as it unfolded early, it just, a couple of things didn't work out. Tyler Poole gets stress fracture in his back. He'd been pitching really good for us and never could get him back. And, you know, a couple other kids that we really thought were professional caliber pitchers, I just never could get it to work. And, that was about the time, about 15, 18 games in, started having to pitch Beckwith more as a starter and kind of solidify our staff a little bit and give us a chance, at least on Friday night, to, use him and Cunningham and stuff, to get later in some games. And, but I mean, going into it, I was very encouraged. I didn't think we were where we were in just sheer talent in 2010, but I thought we were probably the second most talented team I had coached at Coastal Carolina at that point in time. And, I mean, as far as who would play me, my wife would say there's only one, and that would be Kevin Costner. If I go with anybody else, I'll be in trouble.
Okay, we'll have time for one more question. I'm sorry, this can go on forever, and we'll go with Jim here.
Jim Callis from MLB.com. Gary, could you talk about the decision and what went into it to start Beckwith today after you were going to go with Cunningham if the game had been played last night? And with Bobby Holmes, was it a situation where you're only going to be able to get a batter or two out of him, or why was his appearance so brief today?
I mean, it seemed like every situation as far as with Bobby, that we have put him in the last 2 or 3 weeks has been like massive high stress. And just felt like matching up wise, he's way better against righties than he is lefties. And, they had seen him some. So we just, I told Drew, we talked about it last night. We stayed up fairly late last night just kind of staring at the walls, to be honest with you, sitting there going, they've kind of played their hand with their lineup, so we know they're going to stack a ton of lefties against Beckwith. And, Beckwith's season numbers against lefties hasn't been that great yet. Probably the last month has been significantly better. And, I told Drew, I said, bottom line, I see both sides of it. I said, last night we were on borrowed time. We were going to try to get 2 innings, maybe 3 out of Cunningham and go to Beckwith and basically let him have it, win, lose, or draw. And, I told him, I said, since this thing got rained out, I said, I just feel like, for me personally, the way Beckwith has pitched, he deserves the opportunity to go out. And if we get beat, we get beat with our guy on the mound. And if he can get us to the 6th or 7th, if he's in trouble, if it's a good situation, let's use Bobby to get us out and give AC an opportunity to have a clean inning, come walking into the game with nobody on, and kind of basically it's almost like being a starting pitcher. And that's ultimately how it played out. And I think, I think AC would have been fine. It would have been somebody on base, but it was nice for him to come in that situation and have a little bit of wiggle room where it wasn't, okay, one bad pitch and the game's tied or something. And because we haven't put him in that situation all year, that type of situation.
Ben, thank you.
My last comment, I want to, please, especially for the area newspapers, the Concord group that sponsored us, most incredible people I've ever been around. Our time here has been unbelievable. The Midwest fan that we have here in Omaha is as fine a fan and the greatest supporting baseball fans I've ever been around. I would have said this even, had we lost. This has been the most incredible experience for my players, my families, all of us involved at Coastal Carolina. Just the sincere love and enthusiasm and passion for the game that they have in this area and here in Omaha is incredible. Whether I ever get back here or not, again, I just want to tell them thank you. It's such a breath of fresh air to come to the ballpark and hear people cheer, and they don't say mean things to you. They actually enjoy watching the game, and they pull for you, pull for both teams. It's the most incredible experience of my life, and I'd love to thank everyone here in Omaha.
Gary, congratulations. It's
Thank
too
you.
benign a word.
Thank you very, very
Thank you.
much. Appreciate it.
We'll see you in 50 weeks.
Yes, sir.
Good to see you. You got your